I've always maintained that, and I'll still maintain it. You pride yourself as a God-fearing man. Thou shalt not lie in the name of God. So I want to question, what kind of God do you worship? Period. You can look at me as much as you want. In fact, I'll give you a photograph of mine. You can take it home and study it. You're very mentally strong, but you've met somebody who's stronger than you.
I believe for Jesus.
Jealous of what?
I believe.
Of what? Tell me what.
For Jesus.
Jealous of what?
Yeah, you.
Explain yourself.
Saying Jesus.
Explain yourself.
Jesus. Jesus.
I'm jealous of Jesus.
Yeah.
Right.
Listen.
Do you know the way the God that I worship, the way it works is that the God has summoned you to come back here for our son here, Daniel Dubois, to get revenge on you. That's why you're here.
Okay. You're right. I deserve Oscar. It's you.
Yes, you do.
You are
Oscar
right.
is coming next.
You all right? Listen. You must teach your fighter punch clean, but I win this fight for right my hand like a jab, bam. Enough.
You're very comical as well. You're a comedian. When you finish boxing, you've achieved greatness, in my opinion. You go down as one of the generational greats. Granted, nobody's denying that, but thou shalt not cheat.
I don't know about you, but me personally, I got entertained that weekend watching Eubank Jr. beating Conor Benn. That was a very entertaining fight. It was like watching two pendulums with their gloves on. Backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. It was not a boxing match, but a brawl. Nevertheless, it was very enjoyable to watch. And then this comes along on the news and on social media and spoils everything about boxing. What a joke. What an insult to intelligence. And here is my honest opinion on it. And not many is going to like what I'm about to say. Some people really open themselves up for criticism just by saying things that make no sense. But before we get into that, let's talk about this so-called fight between Oleksandr Usyk and Daniel Dubois. Come on, who's actually interested in this? The result is a foregone conclusion. Usyk wins again. And to make it even funnier, they try to promote this like it's a big deal. The press conference. Why did they have a press conference? Most of us knew this fight was going to happen before Dubois attacked Parker. So why hold a press conference? Why? 3 months before the fight. I'll tell you why. They're worried that he won't sell tickets because Dubois attacked Parker and they lied to the fans about illness. And some fans knew this was the case when Dubois pulled out of the Parker fight. It was set up for Usyk versus Dubois, a total circus. Don Charles started babbling about Usyk being a cheat, then randomly threw religion into it. What are we even doing here? And Dubois' team still obsessing over love blow.
You know, Usyk, me personally as a boxing coach, I have a lot of respect for you as a fighter. What you've achieved is remarkable. Yeah, but it disappoints me that you can actually stoop as low as bringing those types of photographs I'm looking at. Why don't you print one of those prints as the actual shot that had you trembling? The acting you did that night, you've heard of the Oscars, right? The Emmys. You should be given an Oscar for the performance. You conned the referee, you conned us, you conned the boxing world.
He's talking about conning. What about conning the fans? When Daniel Dubois was to meet Parker for the IBF title, and he pulled out 2 days before the fight, claiming he was ill, and no one heard from him for weeks and weeks. And they did a deal behind closed doors before the fight. That will be in everyone's interest for Dubois to fight Usyk, so that they could make more money as Dubois beat Joshua, and that will sell more tickets, rather than fighting Parker and the possibility that Dubois might lose to Parker, and they won't make as much money as Dubois versus Usyk. Wasn't that cheating? Wasn't that conning the public? or should I say even worse, they lied.
What happened? Daniel didn't get the decision. He lost the fight. That's what happened. There was a very controversial moment about the low blow. We went through all this yesterday. As I sit here now, for me, all day long, that was a legal blow. It's not about the belt line, it's where your navel is. And the 4 minutes, he hurt. Remember, it weren't called a low blow as the punch landed. There's no doubt about it that it did hurt Alex, and there's no doubt about it that the referee gave him extra time, even when he wanted to fight on. He wanted to fight on, and the referee gave him extra time.
Blow. Newsflash, Usyk got a few minutes to recover, but so did Dubois. So what's the fuss about? As soon as Don Charles started to talking, I knew this press conference was going nowhere. I switched it off. Even Frank Warren looked like he wanted to be anywhere else. And calling Usyk a cheat, the man who beat Dubois fair and square, come on. That's just embarrassing. Looks to me like they're desperate to sell this fight because they know nobody asked for it. And yet, people will still buy it. Why? Because it's Usyk. He's the only draw here. But let's talk about Dubois for a second. Where has he been all this time? Why didn't he fight Joseph Parker? Was he ill? Okay, he was ill. But he couldn't have been ill all this time. The way I see it, Dubois tagged Parker. He knew if he fought Parker and lost, his IBF title shot at Usyk will vanish. So what did he do? They pulled it out of the Parker fight so that he can keep his IBF title a ticket to fight Usyk and blame illness. How convenient. If you think this fight wasn't pre-planned and carefully set up, you're not paying attention. We're watching boxing get manipulated right in front of us, and that's why I'm not paying to watch it. When the fights are being made by promoters and network executives and not earned in the ring, to me it becomes fixed fights. It's all about making money and not the right boxer getting the chance to prove he can be the best. It's all about fixing fights to generate as much money as possible, and not about the sport, not about the integrity of the sport. And we had a few of these lately. It's no longer a sport, it's a script, it's a fixed fight. And then they have the nerve to insult our intelligence with lies about fighters pulling out to protect their records. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Parker will have beat Dubois. I still believe that, and I believe Dubois knew it too. He took the shortcut. He kept the IBF title to get to Usyk. Not because he'd earned it, but because he dodged the real test. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just being cynical. Or maybe, just maybe, we're all being taken for a ride. Let me know what you think. Are you buying this fight or sitting it out like I am? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like if you're tired of fixed matchups. And subscribe for more real talk. Catch you in the next one, folks. Thanks for watching. See you later. Ciao.